Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. Okay, so, honey, I just got out the shower. First off, I have a few things to say. Okay, it feels like, letting this energy out. Okay, so first off, I want to say, to the people that's out there. Okay, so earlier I had did a reel and I was saying that I get downloads when I go to the bathroom, right? Mainly when I'm in the shower. Okay, and one of the things that I am going to say is just like you see other people get downloads, right? Always understand that you are able to get a download too. Okay, always understand that just like other people are able to achieve success or whatever it is, understand that you can do it too. Understand that I can never give you anything, okay? Because the truth of the matter is you have it within yourself already. Okay. That I wanted to just get that out. Now I feel like I could breathe. Okay, so while I was in the shower, this is one of the downloads. As you've seen, I think I did probably like 3 or 4 videos while I was in the shower. Okay, well, short content, right? The reels. Okay, and those was just downloads, me getting downloads while I was in the shower. So this is pretty much how it works. Okay, you know that intuition part of you that's telling you to do certain things, and maybe a part of you is like, that don't make sense. Honey, follow up with that part. Okay, because that's your higher self communicating to you. Whatever it is that you believe in, okay, source, God, Allah, ancestors, you can't get wet from sand water. Okay, but follow up with that thing. So as I was on the bed, I kept getting downloads for me to go into the shower. Okay. And so I went in the bathroom. First I was like, well, let me try to post this foot video, because I did a foot peel a few days ago. Well, actually it's been about 9 days, ago that I did a foot peel. And I was trying to edit the video so I could post it onto YouTube, but for some reason it wasn't working. And so another thing is this: stop resisting. Okay. Stop resisting. When you see things aren't going according to the way you feel as though they may go, ego. Okay, let it go and then go back to it. That works so much. I can't tell you how many times I was trying to upload videos while I was in the shower, and my storage space on my phone, it is, honey, I need storage space like every other day. Okay. But it kept on saying that I was out of storage. So when I'm out of storage, I gotta pay for more storage, or sometimes I gotta delete the videos that I have in my phone. Okay. So, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go. Okay. If I can't upload that video, I'm gonna let it go. And something said get in the shower. So I went in the shower and I didn't even try to upload it, since I got out of the shower. I said, let me come and make this video, because as I was in the shower, I got the download for this. Okay. So you are a parent, okay, and you are neglecting yourself for your children. Okay. Honey, one of the things that you have to understand, that we are demonstrations. Okay. Children do not do what they hear us say. They do what they see. Okay, and I have 4 children. So, for so long, first of all, my 2 oldest children, their father was in their lives. So I had to pretty much do everything, okay? And I like to say I had got a do-over, because with my 2 youngest children, their father is in their lives. He's supposed to pick them up on Thursdays, from Thursdays until Monday, okay? And when I say like certain things that I tend to go through, I am able to understand other people. Okay. Not saying that is fair, but what could you do? Right? Like all according to your perception. And I tell you guys all the time, if you want different, okay, you got to change your perception. Okay. So one of the things that I understand is this. If you are neglecting yourself for your children, one, you're going to have resentment later on. Okay, don't believe me? How I know? Because that's how I felt. I felt like, damn, why do I have to do everything and their fathers don't do nothing? Okay, why do I have to, spend 24 hours, with my children? And this is exactly how I feel. 24 hours with my children and the fathers don't get to do anything. And yes, okay, it goes back to the type of dudes that I picked, okay, because we do believe in taking responsibility over here, okay? But it was times where so I felt like that. And so with my two oldest children, I feel as though the universe allowed me to see like neglecting myself and put my children before me, what would that cause? Okay, so now I have two youngest children, and because of me experiencing abandonment when I was a child, right? Sometimes it's often, sometimes we do stuff because it's like the opportunity is there. For instance, let me say this. My two oldest children, father wasn't in their lives. So my two youngest children, father, we got court order with, so he's supposed to pick the children up. Okay. And, at times it's like, well, they don't have to go, right? Because sometimes my children, like, they don't want to go to their father's house, probably on the weekend. So at times I'm like, well, they don't have to go, right? And it's a part of me that is like, all right, well, you are neglecting yourself. Honey, you didn't have a break in a whole week, okay? And you are neglecting yourself. And my thing to you is this. Oftentimes we tell our children, we say, well, you better not put that boy before you, or you better not put that person before you. Like, why you keep doing it is because what they seen. It's because of what they seen. Okay. And so today, my son, my youngest son, who's 7 years old, he's been under the weather. And, he was like, he wanted to stay home. And a part of me is like, want to accommodate him, right? The inner child part, right? The inner child that went through the abandonment, want to accommodate him. But then is another part of me, like when I was in therapy, I remember the therapist said to me, he was like, cause I would tell him, I get caught up into these cat and mouse games with guys and stuff like that, just looking for validation, wanting the guys to validate me and things of that nature. It's like you run away and you want the guy to say, no, come back. And, it was like before. Okay. But anywho, so I remember the therapist said to me, he said, you have to put your big girl panties on. Okay. He was like, because you are operating from your inner child, the part of you that went through abandonment, right? And he was referring back to the guys that, I would tend to pick. And in this case, I'm telling you guys, right, to the mothers out there, to the single mothers out there, and also be mindful of the words you use. I know sometimes in my videos, I even say single mother, like hashtags and stuff, but be mindful. Because if you want to say a single mother, keep on using it, okay? And I get it because, I'm not married and all this other stuff. But listen, because I'm chatting. You have to understand that if you're not good, no one else around you will be good. No one. So you have to make sure you are good, okay? And if the father is available and is willing and able to take his children too, honey, let him have the children. Okay. Let him have the children. If you are a person that is bitter, okay, and you like, I'm not going to give him his children because he in a relationship. That has nothing to do with nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. My children father took our children, to another state. And didn't even let me know that they was in another state until my youngest son spilled the beans. Okay, and I was pissed. I was very pissed off. But what I realized was, this is what I love about life. Oftentimes you keep on thinking that people are doing stuff to you. That's what you keep thinking. He doing this intentionally. He don't want me to be happy. That's not true. And even if it is true, okay, what about if you want yourself to be happy? That's the part. Because if you want yourself to be happy, it's nothing that he can do or she can do that can ever stop your happiness. Okay. I started surrendering. Because what I realized was if I pay more attention to me, I ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Okay, I started looking at my life and saying, whatever they do, that's what they do. Okay, If he brought our children to a whole nother state, right? And I was so upset. And I remember my mother said to me, she said, Deena, well, what's the difference? Because my other daughter, okay, my oldest daughter, was going to her father's house and was even staying with the father girlfriend, okay? And what I told my mother, I said, well, my oldest daughter, I said, she's older. And these, my younger children, they're young. It was control. That's what it was. It was control. It was that they made like the other person, the other woman more than me. That's what it was. It was the whole ego thing. It was the control. And so what I started doing was I started saying stuff like this because what you got to understand is the reason why you going through some of the things that you going through because you don't want to surrender. You don't want to give up the control. So it makes it even difficult, right? Things that you may be experiencing, you're like, well, I got to keep going through it because you're not surrendering. Because you don't want to give up the control. So that's why you got to keep going through it. You got to keep going through that lesson until you get it. You got to keep going through that thing until you get it. Okay? You're going to just have to keep on experiencing it until you get it. And so I started saying stuff like, because what I realized was this, that people take their energy with them. See, you looking at it like, well, because he would, this other chick, he's going to be more happy. If he wasn't happy in a relationship with you, he's not going to be he's not going to be happy in a relationship with the next person because people take their energy with them. People cannot make people happy. That is a illusion. Okay? Okay, even if the person is seemed like they so better off, they still you got to understand, if you focus on you, nothing else matters. If you stay in your lane, nothing else matters. Okay? If you give yourself the things that you hope others could give you, your life is going to change like day and night. Day and night. Your life is going to change. Why? Because your perception of the outside world, it don't exist. It don't exist. You looking for things outside you, they really don't exist. You only going to reflect exactly what you are. If you think you're not good enough, you're going to reflect it. If you think you're good enough, you're going to reflect it as well. There's no good or bad in this here universe. It's just ever. It's for you to go through certain things and see that certain things don't work, like the pathologies, the traditions, and so forth. Okay, so to the mother out there, okay, that's like, I got to just do everything. And that was another thing, another form of control. Because I would be like, well, I got to do this because he won't do it right. He won't do it the way I do it. Control, control, control. And I am a firm believer that we pick the families that we are born into. You may not believe it. You do what float your boat. But I believe it. I believe that we pick. Before we come into this consciousness, before we come into this body, this avatar, I believe that we pick the families that we are born into. And so sometimes you just gotta, surrender, because you have to understand this. Not to surrender is you saying that source or the universe don't know best. You saying that you know it. Okay? And maybe that person, this may get a little deep. Hold on 1 minute. 1 second. Okay, maybe maybe that person's spirit came here for a certain lesson, right? I'm going to share this story with you guys. I remember this mother and daughter, right? And this mother had, well, this daughter had a drinking problem, right? And the mother would always pretty much like accommodate the daughter. Like, oftentimes when we see our children going through certain things, we want to step in and save them, right? It's instinct, or is the way we've been taught, right? And I had told my daughter this the other day. I said, sometimes when you are trying to save people, sometimes you could get punished for that. And it's a certain word that is called, because if somebody is supposed to grow through something, and every time you come in, you trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, and maybe the universe is trying to teach them something. It's teaching them they are a product of their reflection, right? The way they see themselves, really, that's why they are in certain situations, because that's really how they see themselves. And this mother and daughter, so the daughter, she had a drinking problem. And the mother always would tend to try to save the daughter because, for whatever reason, right? Maybe sometimes guilt. Maybe sometimes it could be guilt. It could be the fact of not wanting to let go, right? But in this case, I'm really tying back to guilt. So, anywho, so the mother, she kept on interceding, like when the daughter would, stay out for certain days and nights or whatever it is like that. And the daughter, it took so long for the daughter to get help. And the reason being was because sometimes we think that we are helping people, but sometimes you are doing more harm than help. Okay, and I know, because you're like, oh, well, how am I just let them stay out there? That's my daughter. That situation that I just said, it taught me so much. It taught me not to lose myself trying to help somebody else. Okay, you gotta get that you're not here to save anyone. Okay, you're not here to save anyone. And the more you keep on thinking like, oh, well, I gotta save them, because if I don't save them, then they'd be lost without me. They came here without you. They didn't come here like, oh, well, I'm gonna be with my mother 24/7. I used to, I guess I want to say, like, I spoiled my children, especially my two oldest ones. And I remember I used to hear my mother say, if you keep spoiling them, those would be the type of children, when they grow up, they'll give you their asses to kiss. And sometimes we do it because out of guilt. And my thing was, well, I gotta do everything, because I never wanted my children to feel like they was less than. So I would tend to do, bottom, whatever it was that they wanted, because I felt that way about myself inside. See, we tend to do things that we have been programmed to do, and then we do things that the way we perceive ourselves. If I was a child, how did I feel when I was a kid? And, the other parent was in there. We practice what we've been taught. And so I would, bottom whatever, because the other parent was in a life. And that's not helpful, because it makes their self-esteem, even if their self-esteem is a certain type of way, right? Because they are a product of their environment. If your self-esteem is low, then their self-esteem is going to be low. But I would do that, and then that's not how the real world works. That's not even how universe works. Okay, the universe is not gonna give you, the thing right then and there because you're like, well, this is what I want right then and there. Because if you're saying I want or I need, you are operating from lack. And so the universe is going to give you actually more of what you focus on. So if it's lack you're focusing on, you're going to get more of that. And so when my oldest children would go to school or whatever, see, it been programmed in them, they could get whatever it is that they want. Right. And so when they go to school, they have this like entitled attitude. Because I felt that way. Right. I felt entitled. And then if you so used to getting everything that you want at the drop of a dime, it's going to be times where as though your feelings is going to get hurt, especially if you looking for other people to do it. Because why? Because if your expectations is high of others, you will be let down each and every time because people are wishy-washy. And so with that being said, honey, let me get off of here. I hope you guys got something from this. Make sure if you receive the invite from my other page on Facebook, which is Deena Bryant Talks. Sometimes I get confused, like, which page am I on? Right? But if you receive the invite from Deena Bryant Talks, okay, honey, that was me. Okay. I'm growing that page because once we get 10,000 over there, honey, I'll be qualified for the in-stream ads, like doing videos like this with the ads and getting paid. Okay. The goal is to be self-sufficient. Okay. I don't give a fuck what it is that you're going through. I don't care if you on welfare section 8. Okay. Some of you guys, I'm on welfare section 8. It's not about that. It's not about what you are on. Actually, what it's about you using what you are on to get off. Okay. One of the content creators that I extremely, I have so much respect for is Peach McIntyre. Okay. Because, her and Tabitha Brown, and I did a video earlier about seeing so many, content creators of color that's winning. And I mean, winning. That's able to share their story, them being them authentic selves. And it makes me so happy because, you look at people and you be excited for them because when you see somebody and they are at a certain level of success or whatever it is in life, look at them as inspiration. All right. Because you got to understand if they able to do it, you can do it too. There is no lack and scarcity in this here universe. Okay. It's enough for all of us. And so when I talk about Peach McIntyre, because she is one of the people that I had seen, do thumbnails and say, I'm using my EBT card. And she went from doing thumbnails. And that's where some of the ideas I get from shopping at Dollar Tree. Because, honey, I used to say Dollar Tree wasn't for me. Okay, but sometimes life could bring you to your knees, right? And me watching her is just, is really, she inspires me. And that's why whenever she have a content creator sale or whatever, where though she's showing you how to do thumbnails, showing you how to do content and stuff like that, I'm always investing in myself with her courses. Because that's another thing. If you want to go somewhere that you never been before, you got to do some things you never done before. Okay, in the words of Lisa Nichols. In order for you to have some of the things you say you want to have, you're going to have to do some of the things you never done before. Even some of the things that you think that, oh, that's silly. I remember I went to Lisa Nichols, I don't know if you would call it a seminar, but I went to a Lisa Nichols thing, right? In San Diego. And I remember Some of the things that she had us do, I felt so uncomfortable. One of the things was you had to pair up with a stranger, that somebody you never damn knew before. Okay, and you had to look in this person's eyes, and you had to repeat the words that she was saying. She would say, I love you, like all these different words, and I felt uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And guess what? I still did it, honey. I still survived. Okay. And the reason I guess that she would do things like that is, one, to release energy. Is to release energy. Because we all know when you cry, that you release an energy. Okay. Last thing before I get off here. So the people that's like, I can't cry, I can't let people see I'm weak. Honey, if you said that, you already showing them you weak. Because you living for them. I know you've been programmed not to wear your heart on your sleeve. Because you want to put up this persona, this facade like you so strong. It's nothing wrong with you being vulnerable. It's nothing wrong with you not having everything figured out. It's nothing wrong with you not knowing if you coming or going. You are having a human experience. It's nothing wrong with you. Okay? You got to understand that the moment you could feel those emotions, because we all know emotions are energy in motion. Okay? And once you could feel those emotions, those things that you tend to be growing through, you can release it. But if you're a person that always have this facade up, like, me doing these videos is like my outlet. It's like my outlet. I mean, I also journal, but me doing these videos is my outlet. Okay? You have to understand everything that's in you, that it has been placed in you, right? Like some of the belief systems and stuff like that. You got that from whomever raised you, society included, and your environment. But that does not define who you are. Whatever it is that you've been through, whatever it is that you're growing through, everything that you've been through, it does not define who you are. You are so much more than what you think you are. And so with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.